Be less petty with your time. Be less petty with your mind. Be less petty with your blame. All that petty shit is lame. Be less petty with your friends. Love first. Make amends. Be less petty with your life. Be less petty with your wife. Be less petty with your mom. Be less petty with your job. Be less petty. Be less petty. Be less petty, baby. Body aches, migraine, chronic illness, anger pains. All it comes from is being petty. Hey, I'm telling you now, you don't want to do it. Nope. Cause that petty shit will have you in ruin. Hey. Social media, yup, be less petty there. Cause all them petty comments ain't gonna get you nowhere. You don't even want to be petty. I feel it. You just doing it. This podcast is not a valid substitute for therapy. This is an open conversation. It is not medical advice and should not be used as such. Please seek help with a medical professional if you are in a crisis. Yo, what is up, y'all? Welcome to Be Less Petty Self-Help Comedy Self-Help Podcast. I got a cat hair in my throat. I am so excited to premiere season 2. Y'all, so much has changed since last season. We got some phenomenal guests coming up, and I now have a season co-host that I want to bring up right now. She is joining me as a therapist here in Chicago. She has a lot of great insight. And though I love self-help, the reality is my sources come off Wikipedia a lot of the time. So I be needing somebody to fact check my shit. So I am really, really excited to have her as a co-host. Y'all give the snaps and love for my girl, Alexandra Garcia.
Hey.
How are you, boo?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. And don't cut yourself down as we start. You know a lot.
I know.
Just have to put that out there.
You know what? That's the whole petty truth right there, man. That's what we're working on. That's why I got you here. You know what I mean?
We got each other's back.
Got each other's back. And you know what? We have to, because the world is so petty. I know that I've had some petty things happen to me this week. How's your week been?
Well, it's just starting. So today was a Monday.
Well, it is Monday. I forgot. You know what? So we used to do Thursdays.
Right.
Okay.
Mondays feel like an entire week. Last week was good, real busy and good. So yeah. Today was all right. Nothing major happened. So
you ain't got nothing petty that occurred in your life last week?
Oh, we're jumping into our pettiness?
No, I'm just wondering. I mean, it sounds like such a remarkable week of nothing, no ups and downs, no flows, just like perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, no. You know what? Usually in the summer, in PHP programs, partial hospitalization programs where I work, it's low. That's like our low season because it's nice outside. The sun is out. Folks are connecting with people. And we just came out of a pandemic. So feel like everyone is getting help now. So it is like no downtime. It is go, 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 go. Every time I look up, I'm assigned a new patient. So, and it's a blessing, right? I'm all about
I guess that's a good thing. Everybody looking out for their own mental health and trying to, deal with their shit.
Exactly.
Which is what I'm so excited about this season, because we talking all about our shit. We talking about like our habits and community and how family and relationships play a part in our mental health and disease. So I'm really excited because I got some petty habits that I've been trying to let go of. And I'm hoping to do that this season. Smoking weed has been one, but that one has been like a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 year habit that just is. Oh my God.
Have you reduced a bit?
Yeah. You know what? I go through my phases where I'm like, I'm smoking all the time and then I'm not smoking at all. And then I'm hyper focused. And then I'm trying to balance it like where I'm like, I can do everything and still smoke. Yeah. And then it's like, I can't do nothing because I smoke. I know for a fact our guest that's on tonight's show will be able to relate. Because I can see her smiling at the bottom of the stream right now. It's a real struggle, man, for weed smokers. Do we got any weed smokers out there in the comments? Do we have anybody that? And welcome tonight. Oh, talk more about that. S&C, we got it's a thing, man. It's a thing. But that's the beauty of these kind of platforms, the mental health, and being able to discuss this, because I do, though I have a very strong opinion towards the medical usage of marijuana, I do believe there is a such thing as numbing with marijuana. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that is the mental health part of it that we definitely have to discuss this season. Absolutely. But to get to my petty thing that I've been trying to avoid. So this week I've been a little petty in the sense of like, so much is happening, good things, and we're preparing for this new season. And because I have a lot of heavy hitters on this season, I've gotten all in my head about whether or not, you know, the layout looks good, whether or not the platform looks professional, and it's like, there's a part of me that's like, I know I just need to be accepting and proud of the fact that I have people that are willing to be on my podcast, you know, like good, heavy hitting people, and that what I've already put together is good enough. But I've been super petty with myself, not believing that. So yeah. Heal me. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I think it's so common. And mine is similar, right? I told you, I think for me, and maybe it is because I was going to be your co-host all season, I'm not sure, but thinking like so much has happened this year, got promoted. And as soon as, you know, that happens, thinking about the next thing, like, okay, well, what's next? Thinking about my next review in September, like, hold on, we are in the summer. Relax, calm down, and be in this moment and give yourself some snaps and some grace that, you know, you've done X, Y, Z, or you're still getting up each morning after a global pandemic. So mine is just not being mindful sometimes and some shoulding all over myself. I should be doing this or should be doing that.
Shitting all over I thought you said shitting all over myself. I was like, oh, I like that. Shitting all over myself. But that's so too. I think that's just like a societal thing that we do to like everyone do to themselves. They don't allow themselves to have like these good, joyous moments and just be in that joyous moment and embrace it fully. It's like, okay, this happened, move. What's next? Yeah. I agree. And even as I was prepping for this episode, I told you, I'm like working on the questions for this episode, and my mind is worried about the next episode because we have Tiffany coming on that one, and I'm like really stressed out. And I'm like, this is not even what Kelly, the focus is to get this episode complete. And then this episode will lead to another good episode. And then that good episode will lead to another good episode. And it's called steps. Right? One by one. It's like we forget how to walk. I'm really excited to bring in our guest on today's show. She is actually one of my personal friends, and I love this child because she's like one of the sweetest, most giving, most selfless people I know, but she's one of the pettiest people I know as well. So it's like a perfect combination of somebody to talk to about pettiness and mental health.
I love it.
So you guys may know her from the hit TV show, The Chi on Showtime. I know her because she a goddamn fool and I love her. I want y'all to show snaps and give love right now to my homegirl, Ty Davis. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hold up. Who you calling petty? I'm petty.
Really?
Okay. I'm going to be less petty about accepting the fact that I'm petty. How about that?
Thank you. I appreciate you. Definitely petty because I called you at 5:56 because you weren't on the stream yet.
Kelly,
you yelled at me. You yelled at me
like that though.
Because the problem that I'm having is you said 6 o'clock. People like you are petty with their time and mine too. I have a problem with this. If you say 6 o'clock, I ain't got to log in until 5:59 and 3/4. Let me be petty with my time. You can't be petty. I have a whole couple of milliseconds to log in. You already calling a yell. You petty.
Hold up. What about my mental health in this particular situation? The stress levels that are heightened due to you not being on the call yet.
I feel like this is a transference of energy that I do not need because then you're going to be stressing me. because you're stressed about nothing. I'm coming.
Okay.
I said I was coming. I was on my way. I just had to get my wine. I didn't get no weed because apparently we being less petty with our weed smoke. Not me though, but I was respecting you.
No, I'm not being, you know what? I'm not being less petty with it. I'm just really, I think what it is, and I've expressed this before, I think on the podcast, I think what it is because I grew up under like addictive people like that I was raised by, you know what I'm saying? They had addictions, they struggle with addictions, AA, like, and I saw that all the time, that struggle. And so that because I'm not taking any hard drugs, quote unquote, right? Cocaine, crack, blow, whatever. It's like, oh, it's okay, kind of. But then I often go back into that place of like, no, it's not okay because you're not being as efficient as you could be with your day if you weren't doing this. Okay. But I still thoroughly enjoy it. So it's a weird roller coaster that I find myself constantly on, that I'm hoping we heal this season. Honestly, no, I'm kidding.
I have high hopes.
Alex is like, this is not what I signed up for.
Oh, God bless you, Alex. I'm so sorry early because this is going to be interesting.
This is very interesting.
It is. Well, so I want to make sure that we are, Kelly is explaining the life. Yes, that's what I'm saying. See, the struggle is real out here for us, us people that indulge. But with you, I want to know what your petty story is this week. That's exactly what I want to get to real quick before we, because I've been texting. First of all, I got a couple.
First of all,
you
don't get to jump in on my petty. Okay, so that was what I was about to say. That is my petty. That's my petty. I need to be less petty about my responses via text message. I do, because sometimes I'll read them and then just don't even respond. I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna get to that, and then I don't. I never get to it. I'm gonna blame the weed. No, I'm kidding. I do need to be less petty about that.
She do that too, and Alex don't smoke weed. So
yeah, you know what? I see it at work, and I'm like, I'm gonna get back to whoever it is, and then you're at the end, and you're like, oh, I never text him back. So
yes, I'm just a rubber ball in a rubber room, and it's like, yes, I'll have my phone. Yes, I'll have my watch. I'll be like, okay, cool. I'll get to that. And then I'm doing 15 other things. And then by the time I'm ready to sit down and do nothing, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And then it all starts again the next day. And then my friends are like, but I text you, are you alive? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm alive. I'm here, my bad. So I have to be less petty about at least sending one word responses or hitting the double tap for the like or the
because you can just do that now. You don't even have to acknowledge. You can just be like, I saw this.
But people don't know, because see, people are so petty with your time that you do that and then they want to type and they want to talk. And when I see them fucking bubbles, I'm done. The phone is going down because I don't have time. I don't.
Now, you know what? In your defense, though, I will say this, that the busier I get, the more stuff I find myself doing, the less time I have to respond and the less personal I take the fact that people aren't responding back to me. Because I used to take it very personal that people weren't responding, but then I realized that I was like, oh shit, Kelly, you ain't got nothing to do with your life, bitch. You just sitting around thinking about why people not responding to you.
You did. You got your whole life. You got stuff.
Oh man, that's funny.
So that's when I realized, I was like, yo, if you moving, if you making moves, you get to people when you get to people, and they get to you when they get to you. You know what I'm saying? And it's no feelings lost. You understand that life is movement, right?
And I love everybody who doesn't respond to me. I take it none the personal. I just like, okay, that's fine. You're busy. You can contact me 4 months later, and I still love you the same.
And you know what? I have a best friend like that, where we don't talk. We talk like the holidays, and then every blue moon in between there. You know, and that's good enough. And it's no love. We catch up like we never.
Exactly. I think that's friendship.
We don't talk, and then the whole conversation is super fucking awkward because they like, so still got kids? Like, yeah, bitch, what would they have went? You know what I'm saying? Why would I not still have?
You would have heard from me if I didn't have kids no more, just so you know.
But I have also, you know, that's the petty part of me, is that I'm like this. I'm a Libra, by the way. So what's your sign? Which I think that's the petty part, is I want balance. I crave, like, I have this desire to make everybody happy all the time. So it's like, I'm busy, I'm focused, I don't have time to respond. But then it's like, oh, but I don't want to hurt your feelings. Then it's like, it's weird.
Well, yeah. You're also like this little OCD ball of sunshine is what I like to call you. I might change your name at my phone because you are just very on top of it all the time. And I'm like, man, I need to be less petty about that kind of stuff because I'm a whirlwind of just stuff. But I ain't that way, Kelly.
And that's very interesting because I don't see that. You see what I'm saying? So people see things in you that you don't see in yourself, I think a lot of the times. And so for me, because I'm in the thick of it all, I feel like that same ball of rubber bouncing all over the place. The only difference is because I'm such a self-help sponge and I'm always like finding new ways and tools to apply to my life in some way, I've learned to accept that I'm a rubber ball bouncing all over the place. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting better with that. It's still hard, but I'm getting better and better with saying like, I don't have it all figured out, and that's okay because everything is always working out for me. Because even if it don't work out the way I think it should work out, it's probably going to teach me some shit, which will help me work out something better in the future. And that's just kind of like how I try to, if I can stop divorcing my husband, then I'll be a better person. Like I try to look at life like that, but then I'm like, I can't take this shit no more. I want to be a recluse. I want to be a hermit. Give me a shoe. I'll live in the shoe.
That's not funny because Italy is offering those people $33,000 to come and move. I'm like, when do the applications open? I'm on my way. I would like to go far, far away and just stay there forever. Really? And then just have y'all come and visit me.
Okay. I'll take that.
Oh, look at my boy genius. What up? People make time
boy genius.
For.
Oh yeah, you can read it.
People make time for what they want to. It takes a lot to get my attention in any capacity. I'll respond if I deem you important to my time. All right, I hear that.
So I should be taking the shit into offense when they don't reply. I should be mad. Like I'm not important to them.
No, because we get 7 pages the day before, and they're like, yeah, and create a whole character, and you're like, plus you have kids, plus your wife. It's a lot of things. We have a lot of. I think that works for some people. It doesn't really work for entertainers. We are never off of work.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, how much of how we respond and to spin it into today's topic, actually, which is about, I don't have a phone number since 2018 at all. He doesn't have a phone? That's so weird.
I don't know.
Wait, what?
Interesting. That's a disconnect for sure.
That's
I'm saying
to spin it into today's topic about habits, right? Like how much of how we use the phone and how much of how we connect with people are embedded in our habits in general, just in how we connect in general. I know that like since I've started to really see, which is what Be Less Petty derived from, right? It came from this knowing that a lot of the time and space and energy that I gave to things were small.
Right.
They were menial. They were petty. They were little. So like something would happen and then a bitch would cut me off in traffic and I would spend the next 19 minutes to where I'm going mad about this situation. You know what I mean? Like just spending so much time, space, and energy focusing on the small menial things that didn't matter. Then that made me kind of like think about it on a deeper level of like, damn, what other habits that are not as small as like my driving are actually affecting how happy I am or not happy or my wellness or disease in life? Like what else is affecting that? And so me and Alex started talking about like childhood habits and where all this shit comes from, And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that, especially with you, Ty, because I want to know what kind of habits that you might have that you feel are like affecting how great or they're contributing to, because habits don't have to be bad. You know what I mean? That's true. I want to be clear about that. You can have some really great habits too.
Well,
so what do you
mean from like currently or like growing up?
No, we're going to go with currently.
Okay.
first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I have a lot of bad
try to
habits.
tie
I
it
have
back
a lot
to
of
growing
bad
up.
habits. Mm-hmm.
You said you have a lot of bad habits?
I have a lot of bad habits. I am not
but
a
I
person
enjoy
that
being
can.
petty. Oh, do you
Being
really
petty is
though?
great though, because sometimes being petty is a defense mechanism that you kind of gotta have. You know, if you're
Okay,
a
let's
pushover
explore that.
person,
That's interesting.
because sometimes you feel guilty about saying no, and you feel guilty about not being everything for everybody, that because people help. I have a crazy great village, right? So when my village asks me for something, I feel real guilty about having to say no, or just not even feeling like it. So I feel like it's one of those things where I've used petty as a defense mechanism. Like, yo, I'm not doing that. I don't feel like doing that. But it's not because I don't want to. It's because if I do that for you, I have to do it for this person and this person and this person and this person and this person. It's like, then I don't have enough for me. So in that regard, people are like, oh, you're so selfish. And that's a petty trait, but I need to have that or else I won't have anything for me.
Now, what I just heard is that you're actually less petty, because that's the whole point, is being less petty with your time, space, and energy. You have to prioritize the things that is best for your mental health and space. Like, and once you have got that down, then you can be for others. You can give to others, because you can't give to anybody. That's why they have the whole airplane thing with the oxygen mask, right? You put yours on first, then your child's. Like, you can't do anything for anybody in a state of mental chaos. Right. So be less petty is about that. Like,
okay, good. I don't feel so bad about being petty and saying no.
I mean, it's also, it's setting a boundary, right? It's setting a personal boundary. And I think the people in our lives sometimes aren't receptive to that. The guilt is real. I think sometimes you can be petty in the way that you respond, right? Like how do we respond in a way that we're folks of like, man, you know what? I really respect, like, you're setting this boundary and you're taking care of yourself. So I think even if we start responding in an intentional way to the important people in your life, people will start like noticing those habits or traits of like, you know what, this is just her personal time and she takes that very seriously, which is fair.
Yeah. Okay. That's so true, because we've heard it a million times before. It's not what you say.
It's how you say it.
It's how you say it. And honestly, I think too, how we say things is sometimes not only harmful to the person we're saying it to, but I think 1,000% of the times when it's harmful to them, it's also harmful to you. Like, what did it take of you to have to say that?
Yeah.
And even that way, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is just her personal time and she takes that seriously.
Amen.
Yeah. So since Ty is not ready to open up about her for real petty habits, because we'll come back to her.
First of all, you tried it. Tried it a lot right there.
Putting people on the spot is Kelly's also like background pettiness, but that's
yes, you need to be less petty about putting people on the spot. Let me open up. I'm talking to a group of strangers that I want to love as family. I'll come out when I feel like it.
Okay, I respect that. I respect that to the full.
The wine will help also. So,
and listen, I'm so petty. I have it in a box right here. I have wine in a box.
Love it.
So what are some of your petty habits that you find yourself dealing with, Alex?
Why are we gonna jump right into the pettiness? I think for me, it's definitely being a perfectionist. And yes, I know we're not talking about childhood, but it's something that started growing up. Growing up in Humboldt Park, when people meet you like, oh, you're from the hood, or going to college, oh, you're from the hood, assuming, and there's nothing wrong with being a teen mom or any of that, but assuming that I fit in this certain box. So I felt the need for myself to change that. And I felt like I had to be perfect, right? For a long time, I didn't wear Jordans. I didn't wear hoop earrings. I didn't do a lot because I felt like I had to present myself in a certain way. Where now in adulthood, I'm shedding those layers. Because you would be in an honors class in college and I would feel and I was never anxious in class. Only in my honors classes that I feel like I had to prove myself. And I would even leave like, why are you doing that? Like, why do I feel this way? I'm not even like immersed in the lesson because I'm so worried about my response. Fast forward to adulthood, I just started to wear certain things to work or, just be myself. And that's just, again, I'm not trying to be inauthentic, but I felt like for a long time I had to be perfect. Freedom for sure comes with that. And there are moments where you feel comfortable, and then there are moments where I don't feel comfortable with it. So it's still a learning process. It's still something I'm trying to like ease into, to shed like proving who I am and where I came from. I'm very proud of where I came from, but that's mine. That's a big one.
That is. What are some of your good habits? Because I see you to be like focused and driven, and you get shit done. So I would be interested to know.
What are some of my good habits? It's always easy to go to the negative one, right?
Right.
I think, you know what, going back to what we were just talking about, boundaries and self-care. I think it's harder in the summer because there's so much going on. And I do feel that guilt. I'm with you on that. Like, there's so much going on the weekends, and you feel bad that you can't make it to everyone's stuff. But I do prioritize taking care of myself. Like, after a long day at work, like, I literally will make dinner with like nothing on. That might not sound like, I don't want the TV on. I don't want no music on. I love to cook. So I'll cook. I'll make, like, I don't want to say like eat my emotions, but there are times where you just want like comfort food. You gotta be careful with that. But like engaging in cooking and making a meal that I love, and just resting for the evening, or if it is meditation, working out, like, I put myself first. I wouldn't be able to do my job if I didn't take care of myself. And that is so good.
And that is cooking, and all of that is definitely a form, like, you know, the smells, the sound, the sizzles, the things that are like all of the sensory deprivation that's happening. It's amazing. Yeah. That's awesome. And I feel you, man, on that fucking, like, just trying to prove yourself, being from the hood, trying to, like, you know, look, I'm from Harvey. And so for a long time, my hood was my proud, you know what I mean? My pride, you know, it was like, I'm from the hood. But then, and I went a different route. So you like went the, you know, education focused. Like, I went the bitch, I'm from the hood route. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't you see I'm from the hood route?
I feel like Chicago girls do that. I feel like a lot of us do that.
Yes, it's so bad. And I did it for so long. Like, so I carried that identity of like, this is where I'm from. This is who I am, to a point where I was like, Kelly, but you don't even like this shit though. Like, this ain't, you're not even enjoying like behaving like this.
Especially because
you like meditation retreats in lavender, bitch. You like
and DIY stuff. Yes.
Oh,
so I had to really ask myself, like, how important is this identity that you've attached to this quote unquote you won't? And I guess I figured, like, if I relinquished parts of my hoodness, then I would be deemed like an outsider. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go around my cousins, I don't feel like the same cousin I felt like when we were growing up. I feel like, you know, like, what's that movie with Martin where he kind of made it and then left and then came back? And Monique was his.
I'm so bad.
Like, you know what I'm talking about?
I was about to say something. Is it the Roscoe?
Who knows it? Who in the chat knows the movie with Martin? And
is this one of your games, Kelly?
And you're like, no, this is me really drawing a blank on this. I got a whole ass computer.
And Monique was his what?
He was like his cousin or his aunt or something, and she was like,
it wasn't the Roscoe Jenkins movie, was it? Meet Roscoe Brown. Hold on.
Oh, it might have been. It might have been me when he went and he got married and he was like, oh, so together. It's like I almost feel like that, almost like this imposter syndrome. Like I'm pretending to be, you know what I'm saying? Like something that I'm not, because I know. But the fact is I've had to accept that, like, shit, I've went to the military. I've lived out of the state. I've lived out of the country. I've like traveled the world. Like, I have a multitude of experiences that are beyond those 10 years I was in Harvey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be 40, right? So it's so interesting. Yeah, I'm going to be 40.
That's dope. That is amazing.
What's happening? I'm lost. I was like, an episode of Martin. I don't think anybody. What the fuck is the name of it?
No.
Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins.
It was Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. Okay, that was the name of the movie, Essence. Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. And And that shit is so real. And it's so interesting because you got two ways you can go, right? You're raised in the hood and you can decide like, I'm gonna be so perfect that nobody could ever associate with me with the hood. Or you go this other way where you say, I'm gonna show you that, you know, the hood can't be touched. The hood can't be questioned or judged or affect, like you can't stop me, right? It's really weird. It's really weird. And I feel like Ty, where did you grow up at, Ty?
So I was one of those implant suburban kids. I came from the South Side. I grew up all over the South Side, to be honest. And then my parents, when I was 13, moved us out to the suburbs. Okay. So it was a culture shock for me because I grew up, you know, all my cousins, like I ran to the city every chance I got because I felt so out of place when we moved to the burbs. But then I think it was probably one of the best things that they could have done because I was not acclimated initially. And now I think I was a little bit better prepared for the world and interactions with different people because, you know, in certain neighborhoods, everybody's kind of the same. And when you're not the same, you got to kind of figure it out. So when I got out here, I was like, okay, cool. I understand now that it was an opportunity and it gave me the freedom to branch out and realize that you do need to see the world because it's so much bigger than any neighborhood you've ever been in. And probably be able to become fluid and a little less petty with the way I interact with people. And I was able to shed that neck rolling, all the stereotypical things that people deem as negative, which I don't think it's negative, but they deem as negative.
Right.
But that comes back out from time to time because it's just who you are. You know, if you trigger it, it happens.
Right.
So less petty.
And that's the thing. Some stuff I feel like need to be said a certain way. Like I just feel like that's the energy of that statement. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am. I don't know what way to say
bad about doing it.
Like,
right. Oh my God. You know, it's one thing I had to shed that I knew was a habit from like my upbringing was the immediate need to go to physical abuse, like with my daughter, right? That was something that, and this was something that kind of was shown to me by Mike, you know, like it wasn't like I just saw that he didn't do it. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't be like one kid can get whoopings and the other one get whooping, like in their stepchildren, you know, I mean, their stepsisters, like it needs to kind of be some cohesiveness in this way. And so, and he just strictly was like, I don't believe in like putting my hands. I don't believe in that. And I'm like, damn, like, but how else do you let they ass know? How do you let them know that this needs, you need to be checked? You know, but it's like, oh shit, you just talked to her? Like a conversation? Like,
yeah.
How is that working?
Now, Kelly, I'm laughing because that goes back to that childhood thing. It's like, it took me deciding that I didn't want that. My mom used to beat my behind, extension cords, belts. It was always corporal punishment, honey. And then having my kid, I'm like, was there a better way of doing this? And then I literally was interested in finding alternative ways. Yeah. Nobody showed me. I got my butt beat.
Yeah.
The small things.
That's interesting that you said that. That's a good point. Interested in finding alternative ways and that goes back to like even identifying that some of the habits that you have are not habits of your own. They're not the habits you necessarily decided. You started. Like I was just, in fact, and this might be, oh God, please don't sue me, people. So my daughter smokes weed, obviously, right?
Oh, they sue you. Marijuana's legal. Go ahead.
It is. But so she's, you know, rolling a blunt or whatever, or rolling a joint. And my husband walks in on her and he's just like, he had this moment where he just shook his head and I get home and he's like, yeah, your daughter was rolling the joint in here. She looked just like you. Just like you, like she looked just the way you do it and everything. And I was just like, why do they have to be such fucking copycats? Like, why can't I just do my destructive shit, whatever this is? Why can't I just live my best life without you attaching on to my habits? Use your own habits.
Wow. Okay.
You got to teach them. Apparently you have to show them how and teach them to choose their own habits, but they still don't.
It's impossible.
My child is walking around here looking like me all over again. I'm like, you can't do what I do. Find your own identity, bro. Get off of mine.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's what I look like.
but I'm also like ultra thankful because, like you said, I have been interested in and invested in choosing new habits, and so they still exactly. Why do our kids have to be such happy? They're still like also saying the other things, like the meditation and my efforts to be less petty, and the writing I do every day, and the hard work I put into my career. So they're seeing that too. But it's just like, God damn, I know they're also going to get some of these habits. Like even my husband, right? Even our mates pick up our habits, you know, like it's, oh my God, Mike does some stuff to me. He'll say certain things to me and I'll be like, you don't really feel that way. That's not you. Those aren't your words. Those are my petty ass words that you're using back on me, you know?
Well, I mean, I think you bring up a great point, right? Our kids, our nieces, our nephews, like we're watching us, the good, bad, and the ugly. And we're talking about habits, right? If it's smoking weed, having a glass of wine, and how do we, like, what is our relationship with that, right? If I'm coming home each day after a hard day and I'm grabbing a glass of wine, like what message am I sending to this young person? Or, you know what I was thinking, just even conversation, when I still lived with my sister, we would always talk about weight. Right. It was always about losing weight and eating right. And it wasn't enough about it being a lifestyle. And my niece, who's amazing and beautiful and all those things, and all kids are, would started like focusing on weight. And my sister and I had to look at ourselves, because I'm like, this is our fault. Like, she didn't just start thinking about weight just because. I mean, it's all over social media and everything else. And I kept thinking about all the times we were in the kitchen making dinner, and Karina is there listening to that. And it was just a habit of always focusing on our food and the number on the scale. So they're always listening. That's for sure.
Always listening. Always. I tell my husband that because he, you know, gets a little anxious when our daughters do something and it's like, they're doing that thing but I'm like I said, when she said Kelly providing that balance, I'm always just so thankful that I'm showing them other stuff too. Yeah. This is not stuff I was shown growing up. Like I wasn't even just this platform, us having a conversation about mental health and about our habits, right? Like this kind of stuff is important. Us succeeding in our lives, or not necessarily, I don't want to call it succeeding, but just winning in our day, whatever that means for us, is pivotal to how our children become adults. You know what I mean? I think. Or they'll either try to become the exact opposite of you in every way possible, which is just as critical. You know what I mean? 8-year-old daughter is an 8-year-old goddaughter is the same way. Yeah. It's like they're little shadows of us, you know? I wonder what are some things. So we have these habits of like, you know, what is like the first steps you would think when you're talking to like your clients, Alex? What are some of the first things that you try to help people get a hold of what their habits are, the things that are like, how do you identify those discomforts? You know what I mean? Like those things those habits that are like not great, that we don't know.
You know what? At first it's building awareness, right? So as you start to talk to people and you process, we start to see themes, right? It's usually like a lot of times like, oh, I don't know why I'm anxious, or I don't know why I'm depressed. Like, okay, first, like let's take our time. It's probably not just one thing. So through conversations and processing, we will start to notice themes. And it's my job to start like putting together common themes. So let's look at themes, right? And if there are behaviors that we want to change, often I'll call them like target behaviors, right? If it's drinking every time I get upset, or overeating, or whatever it is, the first step is awareness. So we got to talk about it and like identify it, right? Often we aren't aware, like, wow, I didn't realize like for the last 3 weeks, every time I was going home, I was doing X. So first thing is awareness. And then the second thing is a lot of times I'll have folks lean into their values. Like, what values are you working towards, and what values do you want in your life? And does this behavior or habit fit with your values, right? Because it's not my job to say like, you know what, Kelly, like this isn't working for you, or this isn't in line with your values. It's your job to do that. So awareness and values is like my first go-tos.
Hold on real quick before you keep going. Values, when you say that, how does a person identify their values? Because I realized with like my whole journey with the Be Less Petty and everything that I've been doing is that, a bitch didn't have values. Like I didn't like ever identify.
Please.
I'm serious. Like I used to do a lot of shady shit, but it's because I didn't have anything to rest on.
Right.
That kept me, so how do a person identify their values?
That's interesting.
Their values.
Okay. As I'm taking notes, y'all. Yeah. Go ahead.
You know what?
Alex is a whole wizard.
I mean, honestly, as basic as it sounds at work, and we have all our patients do this, we give them a literal list of like 10 pages of different values. Spirituality, like being honest, like on and on, like go online. Like if you are like, I need to start at square one, which is fine, right? The starting line is right in front of your feet. Print out a list of values or Google them. And just even just perusing them, like what stands out to you. So we'll have our patients identify their top 10 values. You don't have to have them currently, but is that a value you want to work towards? And also be mindful of the shoulds, right? As a woman who's 31 years old, society tells me I should have a lot of values, other values that are not my own, right? So just make sure that they're your own and not from your family or from society or from your career. So don't even overthink it. Just search values, a whole list of them, and connect to them. Identify, even if 10 is too much, like 1, 2.
And they change. I've noticed that at my values, I had like these values that I put in place when I first started realizing that I should have values. I was like, oh shit, let me go start looking these up. And so I started looking up values and like picking values. I did exactly what Alex said. I would like pick values or find like little quizzes and stuff online where I can answer questions about certain scenarios about how I feel, which will kind of identify what your values are too. And so I did a bunch of that. And then I got values that I was like, oh shit. Well, that focusing on, I don't know what's one I can't even think now because the values I currently have are great, but like
they're great, honestly, truly.
We'll just say money because you can value anything, right? So I realized like, oh, I'm valuing money. I'm putting this as a priority. So every time I go into an audition, every time I go into a meeting, every time I'm focused on how can I get the bag out of this? Because that's one of my main values. It's like the bag, the money, the And so once I reframe that, I want to, use my talents to entertain and educate, right? That changed why I'm going into this room now, why I'm having this conversation now. So it's no longer about the bag. Now it's just like, oh, I want to fucking entertain and educate you. And if I get a bag from that, that's great. But that's not one of my core values. So they do change. Yeah.
They absolutely change. Yes.
So that's interesting. Because that's exactly what you like. Kelly, y'all, this season, Kelly has helped me tremendously. I ain't talked to Kelly since that, but a couple of days ago, she changed my approach to my self-tapes and how I think about things and how I approach things. And I was like, oh, and when I said I had to marinate on it, I did, but it was impactful. Like I damn near want to show you the tape before and after because it was a world
I would love to see that, first of all. So we definitely gonna have to probably put that on like social media or find some way to see that before and after. Yeah, it was a video on acting. Bryan Cranston, if you guys want to look it up, it's very short. It's like 2 minutes long. And he talks about our goal or our job, our only job as actors is to go into the room or on the self-tape with a compelling character. That's it. That's our only goal, is to create a compelling character. Our goal is not to book the job. Our goal is not to be liked, whatever, is to create this compelling character. And when you reframe your auditions to go through that lens, you're automatically creating something worth watching. It's fucking dope, man. It's dope.
It gives it a different goal, but it also takes off a lot of pressure. And then I took that and I applied it to my interactions with people as well. It's like, everything that you do is a decision. It's a choice. It's what is it that I'm trying to present and who is it that I want to be, and then presenting that and being okay with it. Sometimes it'll rub a person the wrong way, but as long as I know I'm coming from a genuine place, I'm coming from a place of love, sincerity, I did what I came to do. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work. And that's okay. That's fine too. But you have to normalize making things okay. So I just changed the way I interact and the way it changed a lot for me, actually. And and it's a few days ago, y'all. So I'm executing it, I'm learning, and I'm feeling a lot better about how it's all coming into the fold. honestly. So I really appreciate you for that, Kelly.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. Speaking of which, we haven't even really talked to you much about the show. Oh my God. I need to get caught up.
We're winding down. We're almost, I think, what episode was this? 8 this week. So we have 2 more episodes until the end of the season.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm always excited for the next thing. I think that's another one of my things. It's like, okay, this is great. I know what's coming. I know what's happening. I have a hard time staying in the excitement once it's all said and done, because it's done for me. I've seen it. I know. I've read it. But yeah, I'm excited about the end of the season and seeing what's coming next.
Wow.
Thank you.
Are you going to be so what are some things that you personally want to do in the next few months?
I want to get done writing my pilot. I have to make final decisions. I want to start shopping it. I want to look for some producing opportunities. And I want to get a lot better at responding to my friends. I ain't talked to my best friend in a month. I know she's ready to kill me. Personal goals and entertainment goals and life goals, they go in separate piles. And I have to start deciding what's more important.
Now, I wouldn't be me if I didn't say this. What is what is a petty habit that you have that could stop that from happening?
Oh, I have a really bad habit of just saying fuck it all at any given moment. If it gets overwhelming, I'm done with it, and I will be done with everything, everybody. Wow. And I just hit a reset button. And I expect everybody to be okay with that with no warning. And that's not fair to the people that I love, the people that are there for me. I have a really bad habit of just letting things get to the point where they pile up and I'm overwhelmed, and I'm just I disappear. I don't talk to nobody. I don't want to do anything. And it could go on for months. It's not like a day thing. It's not this can go on for months.
Do you start back up the thing that you said, fuck it, I don't want to do? Do you start back up those projects?
I always go back and I re-go, and I'm like, oh, okay, let me just, then I go on this little apology tour, and then I go on this little guilt tour, and then it's and it becomes so stressful when it doesn't have to be that. So that's one of those things that I have to work on, finding a way to ease that transition, because I'm always going to take that time for me, but I just need to not let it pile up to the point where it's fuck it all, right? It has to be one of those, okay, I need a moment instead of just fuck all this.
Right.
Can you recall a moment? Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say the difference between distraction and avoidance is time, right? I can take a day or 2 or a couple hours. Avoidance is deuces. I'll get back to this in 2 months.
Exactly.
So you're doing a lot of avoidance, Ty, over there when you be like, fuck.
Because
I feel you though.
Avoidance, yes. That's not the word that I would use. I feel like you're petty for that, Alex, but okay.
No, I'm just
I know she didn't feel that she got avoidance.
Right.
That sounds like a diagnosis. What do you mean avoidance?
Right.
What is that? I wasn't ready for that.
Alex, what's your information? I need to come sit on your couch, apparently.
We all do it. I do it too. I'm not trying. Everything that I talk about, we have all been there. So I tell myself all the time, all right, how many more episodes am I watching? Because this is getting into avoidance and not distraction. So we all.
I was just going to say though, Ty, you said you come back to him. Then that's exactly what I've done. I've done that with everything I've done with my health, working out, right? I'll go super hard, 3 months in, boom, 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 good, looking right. And then I'd be like, I could take this month off. I could travel out the country. I could do these things and not really care. And then it takes me another month or 2 to get back into the rhythm of working out regularly, eating better, right? Same thing with this damn podcast. If y'all go through the history of my Instagram, you will see how this podcast has changed so much. It starts and then it stops for 2 months. You don't see shit. Then they all of a sudden come back. Then it's it's just what it is, right? I think that's human nature. Mm-hmm. Human nature. Mm-hmm. But I like you admitting to that petty habit though, because we all.
You know what I feel about Be Less Petty? I feel like it sucks when it's your friend because they know your petty habits. They've already clocked, especially Kelly. Kelly already clocked your petty habits. So she's that friend. It's okay, well, let me coerce you to. So then she brings me here and I'm now I got to be honest about it.
You didn't have to. You could have lied and I would have shitted on you after we got off camera.
You wouldn't have. You would have called her out right on this
I would have tried. You know what? It's that petty part of me that's like, don't do that. That's not nice. You can lose a friend, right? And then that part of me that's like,
stuck with me. Between your husband and the heels, you stuck. But I might cry a little bit because I'm a savage, but then like I'm sensitive. I'm a sensitive savage.
I am too.
I'm the most sensitive savage you ever will meet.
And what's your sign? I'm all about signs. So I'm like,
I'm an Aquarius, but I'm a Capricorn. So like I'm cuspy. So like I'll get like super organized like a Capricorn and be like all about my money. But then I want to be like a balloon, a helium balloon in the wind. The Aquarian may be like, this is not for me. This is not for me. Be free. And I need to stop that. And it's not my fault. I think the stars made me this way.
There you go.
They did.
Absolutely.
But Kelly is a Libra.
I'm a for real Libra too.
Okay, so first of all,
is in Libra, my son is in Libra. Like I'm Libra.
You are a hard Libra.
I'm a hard Libra.
But y'all are my favorite people though. I love y'all. Like I love a good Libra. I love a good Gemini. I love a good Sagittarius. My bestie.
Yes, Sag in the house right here.
That's December, right?
December, November.
Yeah, Faith is. My daughter is a Sagittarius. She's a sweetheart.
Love it.
They're the sweetest people, honestly, truly. Lisa's right. I do feel in my communication, I have a little can't. Lisa did my astrology chart. And I was like, oh, that's why I'm like this.
It all makes sense.
I believe in all that shit. I believe I am a strong believer. I believe in therapy and all that too. But I also believe it's something to be said about just think about this on a massive scale. Like I'm gonna try not to get too conspiratorial as I say this, but as
I grab my wine
but just think about this. Think about like how massive the universe is. Think about how everything perfectly is aligned to a point where the earth doesn't get smashed into a fucking million pieces. Like everything is perfectly energetically connected in a way. So what will make you think that born into energy, you wouldn't be affected by everything that's occurring in the universe at that time?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just, to me, it's common sense. But, I also read a lot of it.
My granny say, so I understand that too.
Yeah. Fucking, all right. I might be getting a little too deep here.
No, you're not, because I have a whole book we'll talk about on the side.
Girl, I love all this shit. I'm into numerology. I'm into astrology. I'm into the human design. Like, I'm all about.
Well, bodies are interesting too, because people don't look at how amazing and uniquely made everybody is. Like, you don't have to tell your body to blink. You don't have to tell your body to take a breath. We got all these nerves and things that have to work, and we have nothing to do with it. It just does it. How can you not be fascinated with the idea of all these things working behind the scenes and you have no control over it? You just have to give into it.
Could you imagine having control over it?
Oh, I know you can. I know you can, Libra, not me.
I'll be like, oh shit, I forgot to blink.
I get overwhelmed. People like, fuck blinking, I'm going to sleep. Who needs to blink? But you would know exactly when to blink, how to blink. There's peace in knowing that there are some things that I cannot control and I do not have to take blame for. And thank you, God.
Yes. All right, y'all. We've had a great show talking about habits, and I want to move into another little spiel about the show, which I call petty ass shit. And it's basically 10 questions where you're going to give me your first thought to the question. Okay. Like there's no do-overs.
Can we pass?
I mean, I feel like it says
it's not going to compromise your career.
But that's not true. Because they try to nail us for everything. They might nail me for wearing yellow tomorrow. I don't know.
Right.
But that's the thing about what we're living in, this current time, space, and reality, is that even if a motherfucker nail you about some shit, you can just go out here and create your own existence and still be just as fucking successful. Like, this is a time where you have no literal excuses as to why you can't do whatever the fuck it is that's occurring in your mind that you want to do.
You're right.
I believe I'm a bootstrap person though. I can I'm a bootstrapper and I can get in trouble for feeling that way.
I don't think so. I think the thugs rule the world. I don't care what nobody say. When you know how you have to just pull it up and thug it out, I think those of us that can do that rule the world.
Like, fuck it. We got to get it done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
All right. So let's get into this petty ass shit. What is it?
We got to fucking get it done. Here we go. This petty shit. Don't be coming up on my life like that.
Oh, I like that.
All right.
Harvey in the house.
I'm gonna ask this question to Alex because I'm petty.
Why are you
If you got cheated on,
she really would. You see how she get down? All right.
If you got cheated on and given the opportunity to do the same to your mate and knew for 100% he would never find out, would you? And if not, why?
Oh,
wow. No, like current Alex today? No. Because you know what? There's guilt and you're left with so much, even if they don't find out. So no.
That's a good answer. And I agree. It's like, that's not even worth the anxiety that comes with it.
Might have a different answer for you.
Yeah.
Today.
10
years ago, Kelly would have been like, I'm sucking all the dicks. It's going down.
See, I just leave. I'm like, it's gonna hurt you way worse if I leave. And if I'm a cheat, it's somebody I'm gonna be with anyway. So I might as well just leave and move on. It's gonna hurt you the same.
Right.
Okay. I got a series of questions for you. I need you to be quick, Ty. Series of questions. Top or bottom?
Top.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Weed or wine?
Weed.
R&B or jazz?
Jazz.
A funky scent or a crying baby?
A crying baby. If I smell it, I'm gonna be so irritated. A baby don't know no better. But that's you have to. You can fix that.
I feel you, but I feel you on that because my nose, my ability to smell is so strong, and I mean it could be the littlest thing. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yes,
Y'all
my
smell
hands start hurting. I get mad. I don't want to eat anything. You're taking my food away from me. You're taking away my fun. No, give me the howling ass baby.
All
right, let's get a little deep here, Alex. No,
you know what, Kelly? For next episode, I need this list because I need to be able to do this to you. We didn't talk.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Honestly, that's true because I was thinking about that.
You have all the power right now.
I got some. How come I can't say mine? I got some for you, Kelly.
What, bitch? What questions you got? What's
music or books?
Books. Audio too.
Day or night?
Night.
That's cheating. You adding subtext. Night. Okay.
No, you'll be tired. What do you mean day?
Weed or wine?
Weed. I don't even drink at all.
That's true.
I really wish you did though. You be fucking up our little fun nights because I'd be like, ooh, tipsy. And you'd be like,
Right. I just don't like, I don't know. It doesn't feel good. And because I think I'm prone to migraines, it increases the likelihood of getting them that I just.
Well, so does weed though. Weed will give you a migraine. The wrong strain.
You gotta know the right weed, bro. You gotta know the right weed.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I'll ask this question to Ty. If you could change one pressing thing happening in the world right now today, what would it be and why?
Oh,
systemic racism. It's okay. It doesn't have to be what everybody.
Systemic racism. Period. That overt shit, I get it, but like when it's systemic, you holding back a whole group of people for no reason other than you want power. Eliminate that shit.
Boom. Done. If you had this one thing for the rest of your life, you wouldn't need anything else. What is that thing, Alex?
Happiness.
Happiness.
Yeah. I can say it all the time. My goal in life is to be happy. Everything else will fall into place. It's probably because of what I do.
Reciting Beyonce?
No, I'm serious. It's just to be happy. If you're happy, man, it don't matter. Like, I'm not saying I'm not worried about what's in my bank account, but like all the other little petty stuff, like it doesn't matter. Like being happy is important. And again, I work with a lot of people who aren't happy, so I don't take that for granted at all.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be happy up and down. Like we can normalize the ups and downs, but like over the lifespan, being happy, like that's very important to me.
To be like, overall,
I'm good. I don't have any big regrets. I'm not very depressed. I'm not very anxious. Like even if like content and happy, I can work with that.
Yeah. Content. I like that. Like just satisfied. Like I'm cool with this right here. Yeah. Yeah. Me and Mike find that actually a lot of, we like to travel and be like in the middle of the woods and just fucking go into like a rain. We just like the peace of mind and we're content with that. Like we don't need a bunch of beach and a bunch of water and a bunch of people and a bunch of noise and lights and shit. I'm content.
Yeah.
It's just a peace of mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. What season would you do away with, Ty?
Y'all gonna judge me, but summer.
What? I am judging you. Why would you get rid of summer?
Because I feel like it's overrated. Oh, Lord forgive me. It's like LA. It's all just one thing. And I'm so done with, like, I like the variations. I like snow. I like the changing of the colors in fall. I like the spring and the rain. I like to see the flowers bloom. Summer is just hot. It's just hot.
Summer's just hot.
I could see that, the colors and stuff. But
I like to see life happening.
Based on my current housing situation, the summer is not that great for me either.
Exactly.
I'm in the wrong neighborhood for summer. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think we're in the wrong city for summer because
I'm in the wrong city for summer. Okay. It's crazy. How important is becoming a millionaire to you, Alex?
You know what? That'd be great. And I mean, I'm not gonna do.
Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
You know what? I think it'd be great. I think financial freedom is so important because then you can do the passion projects and all that. But at what cost? I always say at what cost. If I'm doing something that I got to go to work, but I'm making $1 million plus a year, like I don't want that. Can I keep the lights on and take some trips and feel like I'm in a good place and not make $1 million? I'll do that too.
Yeah.
Or I'd rather do that. Let's say that.
Content.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic word of the day, y'all.
Ty, would you be friends with a person that slept with your mate even if they was drunk?
No. And I might fight her. So I'm real petty about that. I might drag her every time I see her. So no.
Every time you see her? I'm not
a well-developed person in that arena.
I'm not a well-developed person in that
Not right now. Ask me in like 2 years when it maybe not matter, but like, I'm going to need you to keep your distance because I don't know.
Okay. Alex, how does the words "no new friend" make you feel?
Man, it's so funny. My friends and I were just talking about that. I'm always open, but no, let's say I'm all about the I go with the energy and the feeling right from the beginning. Like, I swear I can tell someone who is fake from the jump. Like, the intentions are everything. So yes. My door is wide open to new friends when I feel like you have good intentions. If you have another motive, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just who you are and where you are in life. Like, I don't want it. So if I just don't feel comfortable around you, I'm just feeling like, man, Kelly's like, feel like she's talking to me for something.
Don't use me as an example.
He's not well developed in the example.
I just got my friendship quality up. Don't use me as an example.
Okay, little Sally up the street, whoever it is. Like, if I don't feel like good about the interaction with the feeling or an energy, then there is no new friends. Like, sorry, can't do it. I'm fully booked.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. The new friends are cool, but it's one of those things that's hard the older you get because it's like once you get your circle just right, it's like, who is that? Don't come over here with that. I gotta relearn you. But sometimes they're worth
the hard part, and I don't want to just whatever. I'm gonna call us out, women, because I have a lot of women friends, some from childhood, some sorority sisters, some recent, some old. I have different groups because folks don't get along with each other, and it can get stressful.
Yes.
Like to plan a birthday dinner, I have pockets like this birthday dinner, this is a small dinner for this, and then I'm gonna do that. And it's just like, can we all just be civil? You don't have to get along, but can we be civil? So sometimes it just gets complicated because folks don't get along with each other.
Yo, that's not funny. My best friend almost did not invite me to her birthday dinner because she has this other best friend from like childhood. And y'all saw I put quotes because I'm petty, whatever. I don't have a problem with her, but apparently she has a problem with my best friend calling me best friend. I'm like, oh, don't invite me around her.
Wait, how old are we? Come on.
Right. It's like, really?
We are 99 years old. Grow up.
Oh my God. Petty.
Yeah.
All right. We got a couple more questions here, and then we're going to get out of here. Can we all just be civil?
That's it.
Some folks can't. Some folks don't know how to do that. So
petty.
No new friends. I'm all about making friends.
I like friends. They're nice.
But that's because the first 40 years of my life I was like a shitty friend. And so I just was like, okay, Kelly, you finna be 40. You gotta
make some friends.
Your fucking friend patois. You gotta get your friend patois up.
Girl, that's hilarious. It's gonna be me, you, Lisa, and Tracy. And my sister to the wheels fall, and Shannon. That's it. That's all I got.
Ty, how would you describe your relationship with bras?
I mean, I could live without them, but I have to have them. Honestly, it's not fair. If I could literally take off my yachis and just give them to somebody, I would. But being in that F category is not fun.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Right. So you just got to take the bra off as soon as you get home. But like, I can't be freeing cookie and candy in public because it's like puppies fighting under a blanket. So. The love-hate relationship, I need it. But like when I'm at home, it's not a thing. Fuck a bra.
I don't even think I knew like your cup size when I asked you to answer that question. I don't think I was ready.
There's a reason she's always in a sports bra, because imagine me having to do something spontaneous and I'm in a cute little regular lacy something, tits everywhere.
Just smacking you.
Why are you doing that?
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's so funny. It's like you love the person that invented the bra, but you hate the person that invented the bra.
It's a necessary evil. That's all. Like, I appreciate it for what it is, but like I could really live without it if I could.
All right. I have a list of this last little bit right here. I have a list of 6 words. I'm going to say a word and you'll tell me instantly what that word makes you think. And I'll just go back and forth. So I'll go Alex, Ty, Alex, Ty, Alex, Ty. Okay.
Go Alex first though, because
I am Alex. Okay. Marriage.
Oof. One day.
Feminine.
Me. Women. Power. Elegance. I don't know. How many words do I get? I'm bad at the word game, Lord
That's
Jesus.
Good. That works. Thanks.
Okay.
Alex. Vivacious.
The women in my life.
Ooh. Ty, money.
Unnecessary evil.
Alex, gender. No dissertations, please.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
No dissertation. Keep it simple. You said what?
I just said it's a lot.
It's a lot. Oh, that's the answer. Oh, got it.
You said no dissertation, so I can't.
Okay.
Lots of
time.
Management.
Don't we all need
it?
Right.
Don't we all need it? This was fun, y'all. I really, really had, for the first episode back, I was a little nervous starting the show because I've been running like a rooster with my head cut off. And I'm like, oh, my ducks aren't all in a row. I can't focus. So I was a little nervous, but you guys are amazing and you made it so great. And I think we had a lot of fun. And I'm pretty sure some people will walk away with some gems on habits and health and, you know, ways to be a better version of themselves, a less petty version of themselves. I'm working every day. It's so hard. It's hard.
A struggle, y'all. It's a struggle. Kelly, thank you for doing this. This podcast, I think, is so essential. I think it's so great to see us as women of color, sitting around talking about mental health, because there's very few outlets for us to unload and just be free and just who we are. And it's a safe space. So I really appreciate you. For those of us that can't say thank you, I'm saying thank you because it's very necessary. I really appreciate you for being so open and free with the knowledge and the self-love. And giving back to people. You're awesome for that.
Thank you. It's one of my personalities is doing well in that area. She's focused on bringing the message.
Amen to her. I like her a lot.
Amen to her.
She's helping me.
And this season, you guys know, is all about, in the chats, I'm talking to you all now. And actually, before we get out, I don't want to wrap it up. Actually, do anybody have any questions before we start wrapping up the show? That's why I should just pay attention to the little sheet that I make with the breakdown of how the show.
I put that in the chat. I'm just saying.
You did? And I don't read the chat either. I'm so in the moment.
You're so mindful right now. That's right. You are
that
so
I can't. Do any of our people in the comments have any questions for anybody, for Alex, for Ty, anything about the show, The Shy? You need some help with the situation your baby daddy got you going through, and maybe Alex can give you some less petty therapeutic advice. Mm-hmm. Essence answered for everybody. She said, "You good? No questions, just learning and laughing."
Amen.
So nobody, you're not alone. Nobody else can have questions. Thank you, Essence.
I got this.
I appreciate it. I'm really, really excited, you guys, for this season. It's going to be amazing. And we're even doing a live event at the end of the season on September 27th. So you guys make sure to follow Be Less Petty on Instagram. Follow us all on Instagram. Ty, do you want to give them where to find you?
Sure. It's just my name, Ty Davis, TAIDAVIS.
And Alex, do you want to give them your Instagram?
Mine isn't that simple, but GAlex_.
You can actually just find Alex through my page because I tag her in a lot of stuff.
There you go.
And then she gonna say, "I changed my mind." Now all of a sudden she got a question.
Okay, what is it? Ooh, she's like, "Oh, I got one." Ooh,
how did you start writing in the beginning?
Are you talking to Ty about the pilot? Who's the question?
Or Kelly about her jokes? Because she writes really good jokes, y'all.
I really don't.
Yes, you do. I be screaming.
No, I'm not saying the jokes aren't funny. I'm saying that I don't write jokes. I just go on stage and rant.
Oh, and you just be up there saying stuff?
Comes of the rant that I'm doing.
Don't tell me that. I was like, this is brilliant. Okay, well, it's even more brilliant now because it's off the rip.
That's, you know what? I'm gonna say this, and then Essence, do you have a question or no?
Well, she said, how did you start writing in the beginning?
Yeah,
that's for.
Yeah. She said, how do you start writing in the beginning if you're not trained? So I think it's just an in general question. Okay. Ty and Kelly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say a couple things about that. As far as my stand-up is concerned, that's also one of the great habits that I've had since childhood is the need to perform, right? Always like getting up in front of the family real quick and making them see me. I was a middle child. I didn't have really I had to kind of pull for attention. And so that shows up a lot as an adult in my performances because it's the same energy being used. As far as stand-up writing, because that's how I've always performed, it's easier for me to just go on stage and do that. And I like to call it shucking and jiving, right? I'm getting better at not doing that per se, but like really finding intention behind what I'm saying. But it's just easier for me to go do that and then go back and watch the tape and rewrite based on that versus writing something beforehand and going on stage because it sounds very robotic, almost like it's written.
Yeah. Yo, that's awesome though, because I think that I would prefer that form of artistry as a viewer, just me personally, because it's like, it's more authentic. It's not as staged. It's not as, okay, I know they're going to laugh here and I'm building, I think that's awesome.
Yeah. It's a fun way to create too. And I don't know if Ty want to answer the question about how do you start writing, but I got some suggestions after you're done, Ty.
I start my writing process, like free writing helps. And when I say free writing, just literally grabbing a piece of paper and a notebook, a notebook and a pen, and just writing the first thing that comes to mind, whatever sentence is in your head, and you'll find yourself flowing and you'll find the thing that you were trying to get out anyway. If it's a topic or an idea, like a project that I'm starting to write, it always starts with a quote or something that made me want to write this. So like if me and Kelly were talking and she's like, bitch, you decided that you was going to do what? That would literally end up in my pilot. It would end up in my script. And that's where I would start. And then everything would kind of fold around it. It would be like a sentence, a thought, a conversation,
Yeah.
or a wild dream, anything that wherever I start is where I start focus. I literally will write that out, what happened, and then I'll go around it and then just go through and edit it. Sometimes it looks completely different than where I started, but it's there.
Yeah. Essence, that's basically the same thing, like free writing. I use this program, website called 750words.com. And what I love about it is it gives you a little tally at the top. You get a check mark every day when you write. You get like little animal badges of like 50 days writing, 365 days writing, 500 days writing. And I've been doing that for 7 years. In fact, Dave Hellam, stand-up comedian Dave Hellam, is who suggested that to me one day randomly. I don't even know where the conversation started, but he was like, you know what? You should check this website out, Kelly. It's called 750words.com. I'm telling you, it'll be very helpful. And it was. I started writing on that every day. And at first it was a habit to try to build it. So I would miss a day, get back to it, miss 2 days, get back to it. But now I can say I've been writing every day for like 7 years straight, where I get up and that's one of the first things I do. But what I've noticed is that it has made it so much easier to sit down and write when I'm focused on a book, or write when I'm focused on a script, or write when I'm focused on something very specific versus just free writing. Because I've kind of created the habit of writing now. I can sit down and write for at least a 20-minute window. I've developed that 20-minute writing habit. So now if I'm working like my book, in fact, I have 14 chapters written on it already. It's not
you wrote a book. Where have I been?
But it's just years of writing. It's years of every day going back doing 2 pages, going back doing 3 pages, going back doing, 2 paragraphs, shit, right? And just doing that every day. And I actually read a book too. I'm gonna get the name and I'll post it on my story. But this guy talked about how he just really had a hard time doing something for a long period of time, right? He wasn't the kind of person that could sit down and hash out a book like a Steven, is it Spielberg? Who's the guy with all the suspenseful?
That's what's the Grisham.
My memory with names are terrible. But
just say Dan Brown. Maybe he does it.
Yeah, but like sitting down and doing it for a long period of time is not how most people, like our attention span just don't work like that for a lot of people. And so what he did was he'd sit down and write, and then he'd go do this other thing that popped up in his head to do. And he'd go do that for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And then this other thing that popped up in his head, and he would go do that. And now he got like 8 books out. I think like 3 of them are like bestsellers. Like because he allows himself to have whatever this moment is, and then he moves on and he comes back to the moment if it comes back. And it's just really, like you said, about coming back to it, right? Mm-hmm. And if his coming back is like every day or every few hours, of course we'll get something done, versus if our comeback is every couple months. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's just about the consistency, essence. So that's what I would say. Start free writing as much as you can. You can use the 750words.com. You can use a journal. It's a lot of prompt journals out here. Michelle Obama's journal to her book, Becoming, is a great prompt journal. I actually really like that. It makes me think a lot about values and about like who I am as a person. I use a lot of different prompt journals to work through just my mental well-being too. So I may not always write, I'll write my 750 words, but sometimes I also write again later in the day to just like free write about what does love mean, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe I've never asked myself that. Maybe I don't know what loves me, means to me. So how can I give it, or even know what to tell somebody to give me if I've never really thought about what the fuck it means? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah.
You got any?
I didn't expect you to be able to help me. But this helped me tremendously.
A long time. You got. All right. I think we have done it, y'all. I think we made it through our first episode, season 2. Be less petty about mental health and wellness and community and friendship and all that and habits. Ty Davis, thank you so much for joining us. Alex is my season co-host.
Yay. Hi, I'm so nice to meet you.
Don't worry, I'll be back asking questions and harassing y'all.
We'll be back.
It's helped me tremendously. This was wonderful.
I
Now
love
I got to go home and I got notes in my phone and got to go work on some stuff.
There you go.
Make sure you guys tune in. August 2nd is our next show. It's going to be a phenomenal show. We have Tiffany Haddish on the show, and we will be talking about toxic friendships. So if you guys thought we got into a little bit of conversation with no new friends, wait till next week when we get into the depths of toxic friendships and ways to avoid them or ways to repair them.
There you go.
Who wants to repair a toxic friendship? Let me tune in on a second.
You never know why a person is being toxic. You never know what they've been through. So we can't assume.
Okay, here you go. You're right.
Tune in. Tune in.
I'll be there. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you all. We love you all. I really do appreciate it. Continue to follow, continue to share, and I can't wait to see you on August 2nd. Bye.
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 Adios.